All right, now we got this 2004 Prius, but I'm still data logging the Fit from earlier. Do you see the Fit, the Honda Fit right over there? I still have my temperature sensors in it, Bluetoothing, and let's see if we can see this here. And let me back up a little bit. So now that it's out there in the sun, it now has a sun load. Remember over here, this is idle, it's now at idle, but you see it's cycling. That's the low temperature cycling in the blue. And that's the compressor turning off because it's reached its minimum temperature that the factory says that it has to turn off on at the lowest temperature, which is 40 degrees. And it reaches that right there, and that's where it turns off. It gets a little warmer, turns back on the compressor, and starts getting colder. I repeated that. Then I pulled it out of this spot in the shade and I drove it, and now it has a sun load. Because the sun going through all the windows, and I purposely made sure I was facing out, so I had a very large windshield with a very sun. The sun is almost at a perfect 90-degree angle. It's right up here, and it's going down. The radiant is going straight down, and it's reaching back furthest into the cabin. It's almost 11 o'clock right now. And so now that has a sun load on it, it's no longer cycling because now it's just trying to play keep up, and the out the dash temperature is 44 degrees. So it was hitting down to 40 degrees and cycling out, but now it cannot get below 44 degrees. And if we look at the interior of the car got down to below, it looks like 58 degrees. Let's get over here. It doesn't want to do it, but we can see it's below 60 and it's above 50. It looks like about 58 degrees. And then as I moved it away and I went out into the sun, the interior of the car is starting to rise, and it's still about 59 degrees. It hasn't reached 60 degrees yet. So that's sun load, and that'll make the difference there sitting at idle while I test it, because one of her complaints were as she drove it, and I guess out in the sun, it would get warmer. But we know I have a full system and there's gonna be no problem. All right, so let me open up this Prius. I'll start the video on this Prius. I'm actually doing 2 videos on 2 cars in one day. I'm taking a little extra time out today. See if, because this is a good example. That's a engine driven compressor, and this is a high voltage electric 3-phase 201 volt compressor on this vehicle, and we're going to see the difference of how they operate.